NBA 2K26, the overpowered offensive game. Now, of course, with a game like this, I got y'all covered, man. When it comes to defense and locking all these builds up, your boy got y'all, because one thing y'all know I'm passionate about is defense. One of the few people that spoke about defense while everybody was happy about offense is your boy Brute. So I got y'all with the tips and tricks that will help y'all lock any build up in NBA 2K26. So y'all know what it is by now. Without further ado, I need y'all to grab yourself that brew and let's get to the video.
Face, you better hold that. Cross between the legs, snatch back. Now you broke in this game time. Brutal sim dog. Any challenge can contain my hunger when it's playtime. You better get the name right. That 2K guru, you better know it. Get your popcorn ready, cause there's a movie showing. Highlight real of the best. 1 through 5, I'm a threat. IQ top notch, on ball like the rest.
So before we get into the video, let your boy put y'all up on something real quick. Make sure and check out NBA 2K Labs premium service. They got a lot of statistics and data on jump shots and animation that will give you a competitive advantage over your competitors. Just make sure you use that code BrutalSim to get that 20% off. You can't say a boy then hook y'all up on something, y'all. Don't forget that code BrutalSim to get that 20% off. Alright, so let's dive into some essentials. We're not gonna sell y'all here no dreams, because a lot of y'all like to create builds with no defense and then want to play defense. This is not the game. Alright, so this is my 6'8" or 6'9". This is my 6'9" build. And I already posted this build on my channel already. Of course, make sure and check that video out. This is one of my favorite builds to ISO on. This is my ISO 6'9", trust me, but it's a defensive beast as well. Now, when you look at the perimeter defense, I got 92 right here, so you know what's going on with the on-ball minutes and all that. We're gonna dive into the badges in a little bit. And the next thing is it got strength. It got some strength. You ain't gotta go crazy with this strength. You just need enough to get a few bumps. Speed is important as well. I know agility is important in certain cases, but once you know how to play defense, agility is not necessarily the most important thing. Now, I did go with a 68, and that's the minimum I recommend for going with blocks. Once you could have it, in fact, in this game, I believe you should create a build that could at least get to 68 with the blocks. So at least you're gonna have that high flyer denier, right? Very important badge. The next thing is, of course, that interceptor badge on bronze is so effective in this game. I highly recommend you at least go with at least 60 on the steals. On-ball steals are not that amazing in this game, no matter what the rating is. So 60 is the minimum, or in some cases the maximum I recommend for steals in 2K. Now, I know what y'all saying interior defense, but this, based on your position, you might not need that. So I'm a small forward, and usually I defend the point guard on the next team. All right, so let's dive into the badges real quick. And these are the badges you gotta look at. Let me go to next tier real quick, right? The badges that really help y'all out. The first thing is on ball menace. So important, y'all. This help you get bumps like a mug. This badge right here is by far one of the most important badges, y'all. All right, you see they say hungs and bodies up while defending on the perimeter. Very important badge. And you see I got it all the way up to where? Hall of Fame. All right, you know you got to add some +1s on this. It's very important, trust me on that. Do not sleep on this badge at all. Right now, the next one is improves the defensive player's strength when defending ball handler and finishers who are coming straight at them. Again, a very important badge, but I only have this on bronze, but positioning definitely helps you with this one as well. So immovable enforcer, on ball menace, this one again, because the screens are so overpowered. Pick dodger, make sure I recommend gold and above with this badge as well. Very important badge, do not sleep on that badge. Off ball pass, stop people from hitting you backdoor here and there, all right, to get those extra body ups if somebody's running at you. Definitely a next important badge. And of course, the most important badge of all is challenger. You need this in this game, especially with the contest shot system. If you don't have this badge and people are shooting over you, it's more often than not gonna go in. I gotta be honest, especially with how this game is easy to shoot, right? Now, high fly deny is very important when it comes to recovering after jumping and contesting shots. And in NBA 2K26, trust me on that, you're gonna jump at a lot of shots. In fact, you have to. You don't have much of a choice. So those are the main badges you gotta have right here. You could, bump up some of them as you see fit, based on what you really need or how you really play. You see, on ball menace is a must-have for me because I do play the ball a lot. In fact, once J.E.'s not around, I'm the main defender out there. So we do switch. Even if he's there, we might switch based on who feels that day. You know what I mean? Who might feel like locking up a guard that day, but whatever. That's a conversation we have based on that certain time, man. So those are the essentials that you need to play defense. And I got one more secret for y'all before we really move on to help y'all with y'all defensive attributes. Even if, let me put this out there again, even if you create a build with a low defensive attribute, this is my secret as well, which will help y'all get way more bumps than you actually deserve. Takeover. Especially once you unlock custom takeover. Let me show y'all. Check out and tell me what's very common with all my custom takeovers, y'all. They all got perimeter defense. So once my takeovers start building up, I get some additional attributes added to my perimeter defense. So, you know, at the end of the day, especially when coming out to clutch moments, my custom takeover is all the way up there. I'm basically a lockdown out there with a 97 perimeter defense. Worst case scenario, I'm a 96, y'all. So that's the secret to help y'all, especially if you create builds with low perimeter defensive attributes. Now, if you like me and still got decent perimeter attributes, this will make you an elite defender as well, man. So just a little additional tip right there. I told y'all, man, your boy will not be keeping secrets. I want all y'all to go out there and play great defense. So those are the main things that you need right there. Now, in terms of perimeter defense, the minimum I might recommend might be around an 85 or so. But if you could get a 92 in this 2K, especially if you go with a taller build, you could definitely meet there, because that's around the same thing I have on my 6'8". It's very similar when it comes to defensive stats as well, man. But my 6'8" is a little bit faster, but my 6'9" does just fine, as y'all will see anyways. So let's dive into some of the mechanics and some of the secrets to help y'all play better defense on any guard in NBA 2K26. So let's start off with the body ups. Now, as a point guard, I know what great defenders use against me, and I apply that to my game. And one of the most effective strategies is to shrink that gap. Do not give the point guard enough space to move left and right, And then what you also seen in this clip is me not only shrinking the gap, but also using my two best assistant teammates when it comes to playing defense. I'm talking about the half court line and that sideline extended are your most important friend. Trust me on that. And as a defender, it's your job to control everything, right? I'm talking about control the direction that you lead the ball handler towards. Don't make him control what direction he wants to go, because then you're going to be easy food for him. I'm just being honest with you. So in all these clips, what you'll see is me controlling what direction I want him to go towards. And usually I try to force him towards the sideline, or if not the sideline, towards a teammate where I see my position of power is. So I always try to keep that in mind when I'm playing defense. Now, to get some bumps, it's all about positioning, of course, and nothing else. Just position yourself the best way possible. See, I just pulled that charge right here. And believe it or not, listen to your boy Brute, less is more. You don't want to go out there overshooting sprints or over sprinting. You only sprint when it's required. Trust me on that. But don't get an offensive player getting you moving left and right when it's unnecessary. And you gotta be able to go in defensive stand and come out of defensive stand when it's required. Once again, I guide him to the sideline, and you look, I'm in defensive stand right here, and as he get off of me, I'm getting out of it and sprinting towards the direction to beat him to that position. And I was able to get a turnover just with that strategy. Again, let me show y'all in slow motion, of course. To go down in defensive stand, you got to hold on that left trigger. And to sprint, you got to hold on the right trigger. So you got to maneuver between these two buttons to be an elite defender. You cannot go out there just sliding and somebody could sprint away from you easy. You got to be able to hold that sprint trigger and manage it accordingly. You don't want to over sprint at the same time. Trust me on that. These are stick skills on that end that you will gain over time once you start to really study the defensive game and the movement and all that, and you will in time know how far you could go. But remember, it does help big time that you don't give them as much room for them to navigate or move left and right. You got to shrink that gap for the ball handlers. It's all about taking back control, and that's where your strength lies on that defensive end. Most of these playmakers don't have high strength, trust me, so you always try to guide them in whatever direction you need to move towards. So the next thing we gotta talk about is court awareness. This is so important for good defensive player or good players in general. Look at my team right here. He's about to get crabbed. Now I'm not gonna stand by and watch him get crabbed. It's your job as a teammate. So whenever your teammate make a mistake, you got to see that situation and help. Now let me show y'all again. Because of my awareness, I saw he overshot the first time, and then guess what? He's trying to find his position, and then he over launched. And of course, I'm not gonna let that crab be executed. Now it's on my other teammate's job to see when I help me. If that didn't happen, I did my job as a teammate. Then we could have that conversation. Now here's the next scenario right here where they ran off and decided to do a little, rap or pop, whatever you want to call it. And I saw my teammate help, and guess what? I can't leave that corner wide open. Now I'm going to slow that clip down and show you what happened. What happened was I tried to guide him to that side, of course, but he quickly did a pop, and me and my teammate got a bump. Now the other player, both of them start over jumping, and I noticed, okay, they're off their feet, so it's gonna leave him for open shot. So I went and helped, and guess what? Now I see my center help, and I saw that corner wide open, and I know more often than not he gonna take that shot, especially in 2K26, and I jumped and got a contest. So that's all awareness in that play. Now here's the next scenario where it caught my teammate lacking flat-footed, y'all. I saw my teammate jump, position myself, and was able to get a charge. Now of course I'm gonna slow it down and break it down for y'all to see. My teammate was flat-footed. That was an easy shot unless he jumped, because he was late to the party. If he wanted to shoot that shot, he would have got it off unless my teammate jumped. And I saw that and just positioned myself to stay in help defense. Now here's my final scenario when it comes to awareness. Of course, man, I was running around screens, avoid that screen. Of course, I'm gonna tell you how to avoid screens real soon. And I was able to get an interception just by positioning myself in the right way and understanding certain things. Tendencies is very important. More often than not, most teams got a main ball handler, and at default, they throw it back to the ball handlers at all times. So with me knowing this, I position myself. So now I'm playing towards the ball and expecting this pass. And soon I see that animation, I press steal, and it's an easy interception. Once again, awareness kicked in. Now it's still high risk, don't get me wrong, but more often than not, you're going to have a successful interception. Now your teammate got to look and see when you slip up so they can rotate, and then you rotate for your teammate. But again, that was me just being aware of the situation. So now let's talk about screens, how to avoid them, and what you should do whenever approaching them. See, I literally avoided that screen. And the first thing is awareness. Awareness is big when it comes to getting around screens. Now, a few things you got to look towards, right? Number one, where is your help coming from, right? You're trying to guide the offensive player to where you think help is at any way, shape, or form. So I saw my teammate in the corner, so I'm trying to guide him to the corner instead of the middle of the court where he could just run and fade, and the furthest help defender is, right? So it's all about control at the end of the day. The next thing is, of course, when approaching screen, I suggest that you release turbo, and not only turbo, the defensive stand button, so you could slide off the screens as smooth as possible. This actually helps. Trust me on that. Again, I guide him away from the screen. I saw he's trying to lead me towards the screen. I'm trying to take as much control as possible. And don't sleep on communication. I'm communicating with my teammates. Yo, help if he come to this side. Help if he's coming to that side. I got y'all on the rotation. I'm communicating constantly because my awareness is on 100. I'm not only looking at my player, I'm looking at other players and their positioning as well. Look at me, avoid the screen. I'm trying to look for where help is. And okay, I've got him going to that baseline towards help. We got him. We got him. So that's very important in terms of how you approach getting screens or avoiding screens in NBA 2K26. Look at this scenario right here. I was a little bit aggressive. I know he was trying to set the screen while moving. Sometimes it definitely pays to be aggressive when it comes to attacking these screens as well. And this is one of the biggest weapons and most used weapons in this game. Look at me avoiding all these screens. I'm still aware, still trying to play towards the ball, not giving up. See the screen coming again, avoiding it as much as possible. And guess what? He's now looking towards help, and my awareness is to help the helper. Because he pinched, he was a little late to defend, but I can't leave him hanging. So that's where awareness always comes into play. But overall, being a great defender takes a few things into play. Number one is discipline. How many times y'all see a boy reaching in these plays? Very few. In that situation, I just reached because it was a pick. I'm at a disadvantage and I was looking for a pass. The next thing is awareness. Keep your head on a swivel. Don't just lock into your player. It's a 5-on-5 game. Always be aware of what's going on outside of your window, y'all. Trust me, whenever you see a situation to help your teammate out, do your job and help your teammate. It's on somebody else on your team to do their job and help you. It's called helping the helper, y'all. And that's something we should adapt more in the 2K community. Now, the next thing is don't get caught flat-footed, y'all. Don't get caught flat-footed because that's when the easy backdoor is gonna get called. That's when people gonna just bust some shots in your eyes. Okay, pause on that. That's when you're gonna let down your teammates more often than not. Being flat-footed. Always be aware, always be active, always try to pull the lanes. If you notice in these plays where I'm playing off ball, I'm always active, always moving towards the ball, always looking to help. That's when you actually show the most threat defensively as a helpful teammate. And last but not least is communication, y'all. Communication is so important. People sleep on that. Always tell your teammate, yo, I got your help. Rotation, screen coming. Those little things, jump, jump, jump. I got you. Those little things matter. It does put a lot of confidence in your teammates, and it also makes your teammate aware of what's going on. And remember, it's a team game. It's a communication game. The only way for a team to be successful is by communication. So that's all I got for y'all, of course. Check out the stats, what I let this player went to, and he was the main offensive player, y'all. And at the beginning, I think at the half, he was 5 or something. Then he just went crazy and just started breaking. That's with a lot of stress and a lot of pressure put on by a boy Brood, of course. But hopefully this video helped y'all out. You know your boy gonna always put y'all up on game and keep y'all up to date. And I'm really passionate about defense, as always. And I know a lot of people say the game is lacking, but let's be honest, bro. With some discipline, you could actually be a pretty good defender in NBA 2K26. All right, y'all. So have a blessed one. Until next time, be safe out there. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Notification bell is free and key. Peace.